I've been talking about fighting games a lot recently. Like, a lot. When was the last time I even talked about something that wasn't fighting game related anyway? February? Oh god, that was so long ago. If only there was a critically acclaimed MMORPG which is free to start and willing to sponsor this video. Oh, hello Guild Wars 2. Yes, this video is sponsored by Guild Wars 2, the free to start MMORPG which focuses on gameplay over grinding. Did you know that they just came out with a new expansion called Secrets of the Obscure? An expansion that brings more flexibility in combat style thanks to the potent system upgrades and an acclaimed new reward system called the Nerds Vault. I mean, the Wizard's Vault. They also added a new system called Rift Hunting, where random rifts appear around the world of Tyria, and you have to stop them for epic loot. Go solo or go in a party, it's your call. But the expansion has already started. I'll be missing out on stuff. No, you won't, because the expansion is still getting content to this day. Guild Wars are releasing content every 3 months for the new expansion, with things like new story missions, new maps, more relics, a system that augments your build, which works hand in hand with the rune system, and much, much more. That's all well and good to tell you about the new stuff. What about the new player experience? I'm a new player after all. Well, let's go through it. Let's talk about Guild Wars 2. Alright, time to start out good. All I gotta do is make a character. Now, Guild Wars 2 has 4 amazing races for you to choose from, and Azura. Each of these races have their own storylines, starting areas, and backstory choices. I chose Norn because they're Northern, and their whole thing's about being big and strong, which is definitely like me. Now I just need to make a character to represent me in the game. Ah, yes. Biblically accurate Matthew Mercer. It's perfect. Next, we move on to all of the starting choices. And not to spoil things for later, but these choices actually matter and impact the story in some ways, especially your backstory. It's kind of weird to say this, but a lot of MMORPGs don't have stories that you can directly interact with. Either the lore is in the background, so you can go, wow, cool fights, or the story is extremely linear. This isn't inherently a bad thing. In fact, a lot of RPGs don't let you mess with the story. But Guild Wars 2 has the added benefit of making me feel like a character who has their own unique story. For example, when picking Norn's backstory, you have several different options on what an inciting incident is that set you on this path. You can get into a fight and lose a family heirloom, or recite the plot of The Hangover. I decided to get revenge because even though I know that Matthew Mercer would never lose a fight, it sounded like the most interesting one. With our character made and our backstory fleshed out, it's finally time to get into the game. This is the best game ever made. Now, the game is split into 2 different parts, being the leveling process and the personal story quest. Every 10 levels, you gain access to your personal story quest, which works as the main quest line for the game. But that doesn't mean that the leveling part of the game takes a back seat. In fact, it's a great way to get to know your class and weapons. Now, in most MMO games, you gain abilities based on the class that you play, and the gear that you get is made around the class that you have. Guild Wars 2 works similarly, as all of the gear that you get is geared towards your class, but your class has multiple different weapons, all of which have different abilities based on the weapon that you are currently holding. This means that you'll be able to have different playstyles depending on the weapons that you use. Warriors, the class that I chose, are able to do a lot of things with these different weapons. Do you want to dual wield an axe and a mace? Go for it! Want to shoot people with a bow? Why not? Smack people around with a 2-handed greatsword? Of course you can! Just want a horn? You can just use a horn! The best bit is you're able to keep 2 sets of weapons on you at the same time, so you can switch between them mid-combat. This means that you can make your own combos and movesets around how you want to play. I would make setups with one weapon that would let me stun the enemy before switching to a different weapon and using a long multi-hit attack to deal a bunch of damage. Or I'd have a set of weapons that helps me close the gap, and the other deals a bunch of damage once I'm finally in. It's really fun and has a nice degree of complexity and expression in the system, but in the early game, it is just nice to be able to change your moveset consistently and experiment with the system. It really feels like your character is your character. You get to choose how they fit into the world, choose how you want to play them, and build your character. And the story decisions that you make actually have an impact on the quests and the story. Like, for example, the second personal quest. I found out that there is a massive brawl happening, and if I win, I'll be able to get a rematch with the guy that kicked my ass in my backstory. They even talk about the revenge match several times in the run-up to the brawl. Even if they are doing some background stuff that means that they don't have to make a bunch of different quests based on the storyline, it feels personal to my character and feels like I'm actually having an impact in the world. I'm not sure what the hook of the game is, though. Like, apart from the backstory and the cool-ass gameplay, I have no idea what I'm fighting for.
It's good to see you
Okay, I found my motivation. The choices extend further onto you picking the main path of what faction you want to go with. You could go with the gorillas, the nerds, or the sneaky bastards, and considering that my character is a giant beefy man with the face structure of the greatest dungeon master of our time, I of course decided to go with the sneaky people. I'm just a silly little rogue. Being able to shape your journey to yourself really makes it feel like you're playing an RPG. Crazy concept, I know, but the feeling of solo adventure is extremely present in the personal quests and the way that you make your character. But what about the world? What is there to do? Well, the realm of Tyria is vast, with lots of places to explore. Each race has its own unique starting zone for you to explore, which will get you to about level 38. Then after that, there is a bunch of high-level areas for you to just go and dick around in. The game even encourages this with a bunch of different climbing puzzles all over different zones. But how do you get around the world easy? Well, that's simple. We got mounts, baby! Really wouldn't be an MMO without a mount, would it? The game gives you a temporary mount pretty early on, but there are a bunch of ones for you to get both through the cash shop and through gameplay. In fact, in the new expansion, Secrets of the Obscure, available now, there are more feasible ways for you to get flight mastery and famous mounts like the Sky Scale. Right now, though, we're stuck with this little goober, and they've made traversing a lot easier. Alright, it's time to go and kill some things. I don't know what to do here. I love killing. How about the foul swine? I shall end you and take your hide back to my beautiful ginger wife. Come on! Oh, I'm dead. You know what? It happens. Sometimes you try to do something out of your field and you get killed for it. Death comes to us all. I guess I'll just wait around until the timer runs out and die. Wait, is that a savior on the horizon? Someone just came and saved me. I'm not exactly used to this. The community in Guild Wars is just really nice. Like, I'm not really sure how to describe it. It feels like the community actually looks out for each other and helps each other out. Crazy concept, I know, but most of the quests around the world are world quests, so you're able to complete them with multiple people instead of just having to track your own progress. This means that a lot of random players who I don't know would just come and help me with the quests. Hell, it wasn't even uncommon for when I went down random players to just straight up come and revive me. You don't even get anything for reviving players. It's just a nice gesture. The leveling areas were filled with both new and veteran players, all doing things, so if I ever needed help with something, it wasn't unlikely that an older player would just come and help me out with it. Sometimes it even felt like I was collecting scraps for free experience when they would complete areas for the world quests. I'm not complaining, free XP. This is generally one of the most inclusive communities I've seen in an MMO. Hell, in gaming in general. It's genuinely great to see. Guild Wars 2 manages to really bring out the RPG feeling in the MMORPG, as it manages to not only have a personalized story for your character to complete, with backstory and meaningful choices, but the game makes you feel like you're carving your own path through the world and shaping it as you play. Being free to start, you're able to start today at no cost and experience the vast world and loving community for yourself. Hell, there isn't even a subscription for the game. You can just go and play it. If you buy any of the expansions, like the new expansion, Secret of the Obscure, available now, you're able to play them as much as you like, take as long of a break as you like, and then come back to them immediately without having to put down any money. It's almost like an MMO model that actually lets you own the game as a game and not force you to pay extra money every month. It's crazy. Consumer-friendly business practices? What's that? Guild Wars 2 is an amazing game. It's been around for a long time and still has a healthy, active, and diverse player base, which will be more than willing to help you get into this amazing game. So what are you waiting for? Go and purchase the latest Guild Wars 2 expansion, Secrets of the Obscure, today, and take it to the skies of Tyria with a Sky Scale mount to uncover the mysteries of the Wizard Tower and fight incursions from the mists. Check the link in the description for more details. Thank you all for watching. I'm streaming right now. Come and join. It's going to be a good time. And if I don't see you there, I'll see you all next week.
As always, a very special thanks to 64MHz, Almost Nap Time, Ben from Canada, Savantas de Leon, Daniel Wiederick, DJ Mindsoul, Fexo, Games.png, I Am Naruto, Jacko Reeves, King of Games, MP04, Ray W, Richmine, Super, Forcon, Tom Tanks, Voltaic Charge, and Zandatsu for being Tier 2 Patreon supporters.